Hey guys, I hope you guys can see us. We're supposedly live right now. That's what the thing says, anyways. But anyways, thanks for watching. And I'm Dylan.
This is Quinn.
And we're back live. So yeah, please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon.
Ding.
So you know when we drop new videos or when we're surprised we're live. Because things. And yeah, and don't forget to check out the website at www.broken.picturesnew.com. Yeah, so I'll get back to that in a second. Go ahead.
Oh, my part? Oh,
yeah.
This is now your spoiler alert. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the last 3 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier. So if you haven't watched, well, pretty much the entire season, pause this. I mean, it's live, so I don't know how, but pause this.
Come back later.
Come back later, unless you enjoy being spoiled. You have been warned. Fireworks.
Yes. Because we're live, there's no like special effects or whatever yet. But I mean, that brings us to another thing. I mean, if you'd like to sponsor the show or whatever, so we can get on the subscription to get all that jazz and stuff, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. But so yeah, like I said, we're back. We're trying live again because it's a lot easier, and I'm hoping that this will be a lot easier to come in and actually film a show and be consistent and that type of thing, because we dropped off for a while, and just because life and COVID and all kinds of stuff going on, and we're just
mostly COVID.
Yeah. we're just a couple of dads who like to talk about stuff, so just hang out and yeah, and we'll have fun. We'll talk. This is our discussion.
Fireworks.
Yeah, it's just like I feel like there should be background music or something. I'm getting that like surge of overwhelming anxiety, just like ooh.
Background music. We both have a cup of coffee, some sweaters.
Change our shoes.
It is all right, welcome back to the discussion of Falcon and Winter Soldier. This is Quinn, and here's Dylan. I hope you all enjoy the show.
Yeah. I mean, there was another idea we threw around last time. If you watched the last episode, it was like at midnight and lack of sleep, and yeah, it wasn't live, but man, it was so laid back. Like, I felt like I was drunk, even though I wasn't. I hadn't had a drop of alcohol or anything. But I mean, that's another thing we could do, is just like brews and
MCU
and brews.
MCU and brews.
Brews and MCUs. So I mean, just talk to us.
Dylan made us sound extra lonely.
Not that anybody's out there watching this anyway, but yeah. So anyways, yeah, we just lost everybody. If anybody was watching it, they just lost everybody.
Somebody's scrolling through. It does the thing where it does like the text, so you don't have the sound. You look at it, and they all they see is, "Please talk to us." Scroll.
Oh man, I'm not gonna be able to edit out any like quiet burps or any of that kind of stuff. It's like whoops, excuse me, all that kind of stuff. This is it, man. This is it. We used to do live, but man, it's been a while. And Ghost is here. I mean, we have a dog. I mean, sir.
Hi, Ghost.
Statistics say that people watch more stuff with dogs, so we have a dog. Excuse me. Okay, so let's actually get to the show.
Yes.
Little side. There's going to be a lot of tangents and just hanging out and just discussion and stuff like that. Very, very loosely structured.
So grab your shovel, folks. We will be going down some rabbit holes.
Yep. Dig in. Excuse me. Man, sucks. The catch in my throat and we're live. And
It'll be all right, I think. Maybe. I don't know. As he drinks, I'm just gonna say random things.
it's not Crystal Light. It's like Mia or something.
Mio.
Yeah, those little squirt things you put in your water. Not sponsored by.
Not sponsored by.
Excuse you.
Rutabaga.
I don't know if you heard that. Ghost like audibly scoffed at me. All right.
I
think my anxiety is passing. So we can stop just like bantering. Okay, so this show asked a lot of big questions. And so, I mean, fair warning, it might get a little preachy. Maybe not preachy, but so a lot of people are like, okay, why is the MCU got to get political? Okay, it's literally a show about a man that wears a flag. So,
who also happens to be black in today's climate, even though where they are in the future is slightly. Where they are in the show is like slightly ahead of 2021. Mm-hmm. They mean for it to be as present day as it can be, as I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Just fair warning. I mean, if you didn't know what you were getting into, we're going to talk about it, and so we might dip into some stuff. So just be aware if you're easily offended. Bye. Bye. So, but that's why we're friends, because we can offend each other and still be friends and stuff. Wow. Okay. The foot has already come out and entered the mouth. All right. So, all right. Anyways, all right. So just to kind of hit some big moments. Bucky had his big Wakandan flashback. That was a huge deal. It was very nice to see. Sebastian Stan, man, him and Anthony Mackie and the dude that plays Baron Zemo, like very well done, fellas. Very well done.
Was very well done. Even though I started to watch this show just to see Falcon get messed up. It was the Wakandan flashback was interesting, just simply because we only seen that one. Where was it? Which movie was it? He had the end credit scene, and like was it Black Panther? Oh crap! Was it Black Panther?
Oh yeah.
I think it was just Black Panther. Yeah. And Shuri walked up.
Yeah, because at the end of Civil War is when Cap took him and they put him on ice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was Black Panther. So that was the only other time we saw him, like, in Wakanda. Then besides, Infinity War when they showed up and he was like, all right, where's the fight? So to see him actually going through the rehabilitation of breaking his programming was great.
Yeah, and it was a great scene for Ayo too, who we've seen. I mean, she was technically the first Dora Milaje we saw in was it Civil War? Yeah, when the King Father was killed. T'Chaka, man. And so I mean, it was a great scene to see more of her and that connection between him and Ayo, especially with their back and forth later on. Where she totally just dismantled his arm.
She really did, which means all Wakandan things that they build or loan out have an off switch,
which is smart.
Which is super smart.
Super smart.
So Sam, be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't make Queen Shuri mad.
Oh my god. We're there. Okay. Just to get into that. Okay, so when she takes his arm off, she literally says, "Bast damn you, James." And I mean, like in the captions, it says "speaking Wakanda." She ain't speaking Wakanda.
She ain't speaking.
Bast is their god, right? He's the Panther god. I was like, she said, "God damn you, James!" Like just like laid it on him right to his face, and after when she first showed up in that episode, just like, you don't understand our shame. It's like we did all this for you, and you broke him out of jail. Like, I mean, laying it on thick. I mean, justifiably so, obviously, right?
He killed the previous king. He pretty much made Wakandans look like a fool. He made T'Challa chase him around the world, and then they finally put him in there. They forgave Bucky for his part in all of it because he was brainwashed, and then for him to go, and what else did they do? They literally helped them save the world. You know what the bulk of the army was in the end game? Wakanda.
Yeah, on Wakandan soil.
Yeah.
Man, and just to dip a toe in Chadwick Boseman and his untimely death. As far as story goes, they've confirmed they're not replacing him. They're not gonna do CG or anything crazy like that. And the second movie is gonna it's called Wakanda Forever. So it's basically gonna be celebrating Wakanda and Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther but that, I mean, it's scarce on details, obviously, and how they're going to handle it moving forward, stuff like that. But with her present and saying those things to him, like it adds such a deeper layer, knowing what they might be going through in the timeline right now with the loss of their king, on top of him breaking
him doing the thing,
breaking
the guy out who killed the previous king. Because in truth, T'Challa, because they said he was gonna have an off-screen death, so he could be dead now, and then this could just be happening right there, and she just got dispatched to go deal with this mess while they deal with this mess back home.
Because this is they said like right at 6 months after the blip, which is where everybody came back. Because there's the snap and the blip, right? The snap is where everybody disappeared. Blip is where everybody came back. So, man, there's knowing that timeline. There's so many other questions that we can get into later. But where does that fall with Wakanda and what's going on with that? Man,
it's a lot happening. Which, that's the MCU for you. All these things can be happening at the same time, but it seems separate because everybody's dealing with junk all the time.
It's almost like Kevin Feige built the MCU up to Infinity War, and now he's deconstructing it because with Multiverse of Madness, like he confirmed, we're probably going to see other versions of characters we've already seen. Yeah. So I mean, that's another thing. Everybody's going to the damn raft. Like
also,
Thunderbolts, Dark Avengers, like the deconstruction of all the heroism, and now we're going to start seeing the dark side.
No, there's nothing good that comes from everybody getting sent to one prison. Ever. In any point in time, anywhere. When is that a good idea?
Yeah. Yeah. Whether it's the negative zone in the comics, like there's you put enough smart evil people together, they're gonna get out.
You put enough smart evil people from the future who are also somehow a robot that's connected to the entire internet at the same time with a guy who does this and kills people. Yeah, you're literally asking for a problem.
Thanos is in the negative zone?
Saying
okay. You're just throwing people out there.
Throwing people out there.
Yeah. Okay. I know I'm getting ahead, but I have these questions sitting at the forefront of my brain. Okay. So they're sending Zemo, almost said Nemo again, They sent a Zemo to the raft.
Don't be wrong.
They were gonna send all the Flag Smashers to the raft as well, and then Zemo's butler
He
blew
has.
everybody up.
Yeah, he has
-1.
-1. Who'd he miss?
Remember, they came up to Sam and they said, "We found that Flag Smasher in the Hudson. You dropped in the Hudson."
Oh yeah. Oh.
So there's one left that Sam went to deal with, and they didn't address where, like, what's
That's
going
gonna
on.
be a problem.
Is he now going to be the Flag Smasher from the comics?
I feel like he definitely could be. Or worse idea.
Bring it. We're all about that.
He becomes a guinea pig, and because I was wondering, like, well, that's the end of the super soldier program, I think, because there's nobody left with the stuff and the things.
What,
like,
are you watching the same?
I'm
Marvel?
watching, yeah. And then, like, I was like, well, everybody's dead, so no more super soldiers. And then you said this, because I forgot he threw a guy in the water. Because I know what happened. In my brain, he died. Like, he hit the water.
I thought about him too. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's fine, I guess. And he's just about to become a guinea pig. And they are about to pick him apart and draw his blood out and
Because
all the good stuff.
you know who's in charge of the raft?
Yeah.
General Thunderbolt Ross, who
He has
just so happens to be obsessed with super soldier serum.
super duper obsessed.
Just so happens.
And Hulk is back on Earth now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's Professor Hulk, and then he's gonna get extra upset. Like, if Banner can control this beast and not use his power, I can just see them coming face to face. And it's like, why aren't you like what you were? Like the Hulk previously, he was powerful. Now you're just like this timid baby, and he's up there with like a messed up arm. Like, well, I don't need to be that. We're Hulk and I are one. And he's like,
Selfie. Want a taco?
and then he'd be like, well, you're a waste, and walk away. And then Red Hulk. So many things.
Yeah, if you're not aware, like, General Ross becomes Red Hulk.
He does. He's cool.
Yeah.
He can explode. He like gets angry and goes, ugh, and then flames come out. It's all fun. It's great. It's fun.
Man.
Where is
And supposedly they're, like, when we finally get Black Widow, it's around my birthday. It's around the 20th something.
July 21st?
Yeah.
I think.
So,
Don't quote us on that, but I think.
hold on, I've got a couple little... You can go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah. But yes. So he's going to appear in Black Widow, and then I guess they're also, if they still do it, it's been like 2 years almost now. But that some Robert Downey Jr. footage left over from Civil War will probably be in there as well to round things out, because I really feel like Black Widow was supposed to start this whole, well, not feel like it was this whole new thing, and I feel like we're missing a really key chunk by not seeing that movie, regardless of whatever the plot is, because if everything came out in order, things would have not gone, the internet wouldn't have blew up as crazy as they did for WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Probably more folks would have watched it. I feel like a lot of folks did watch it, but probably more folks would have watched it. And then Doctor Strange would be here sooner too.
Yeah, and they also confirmed that there was supposed to be a Doctor Strange cameo in WandaVision.
But they...
And I don't know exactly why that didn't happen.
And the commercials were supposed to be Doctor Strange trying to reach into the hex, trying to contact Wanda.
Which is what everybody surmised. Everybody, thought. So, we weren't dumb.
We weren't dumb. Y'all just did it on purpose to troll us.
Yeah, that's their fault. Totally.
Yes.
So you did say that there was supposed to be a Thunderbolt Ross cameo, and okay. I was texting my daughter just to let her know not to be on the internet right now, so we don't drop frames and all that jazz.
And also a potential Robert Downey Jr. with that leftover Civil War footage. Potential.
Maybe. I mean, we could, like, with the Multiverse of Madness and seeing alternate... I know we're going off into an MCU tangent, but I warned you.
It happens. I told you to get a shovel.
We could see alternate, like they could recast people and they get stuck and whatever.
Oh yeah, they definitely could.
It's a perfect excuse, and that is a perfect comic book thing to do. Yes, Quinn.
Yes. Hi. So have you ever watched some of those videos of like, if the MCU was in the 90s, this is who they would cast?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. Like Tom Cruise as Iron Man. Denzel Washington.
He would never fly. He'd run everywhere.
He would just do this the whole time. I'd be into it, but I'd hate it.
Oh, man. I love Tom Cruise and Tom Cruise movies, but the dude is infamous for, I'm Tom Cruise and I'm going to tell you how to run your movie, and ruining movies. The Mummy.
The Mummy.
You are not the Mummy, sir.
You are
not the title character. Stop making the movie about you.
Man.
Okay, anyways, soapbox.
Let's not talk about the Dark Universe. I don't want to cry.
Some of those castings pretty dang good, though.
Some of the castings are good. I forgot who they had for Captain America, but it was also good. Was it?
I don't know. He Dolph Lundgren played him, which is like. I don't. Where is? I've seen. It seems like all the movies I've ever seen Dolph Lundgren be in, he's Russian. I don't know if that's just casting because of his name or if he's actually Russian, like actually has an accent.
Give me another movie on a face.
Okay, so Rocky.
Oh, Rocky IV?
Break you, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, no, he's actually Russian, I feel like.
Yeah. No. He didn't play Captain America. He played the Punisher in the 90s.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. There's a scene that's like seared into my brain of like his kids in the driveway being gunned down. Yeah.
What?
It was like the first Punisher movie I ever saw, and I was just like, oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a Cap where he had like the clear shield or whatever, but
yeah, I watched that. There was also an Avengers movies and like
what?
Yeah,
there was an Avengers movie.
There was an Avengers movie.
I did not know this.
Where you had crap. Who played Hulk? Back when they had the Hulk TV show. I see his face. Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
They had Lou Ferrigno. He was fighting Thor. I remember watching the scene.
I remember when they did the Thor, like Thor came in and he was like some kid that could summon him or turn. I didn't understand it. I was very young.
Well, he was just like a regular guy, and then he grabbed the hammer, and then he turned into Thor.
Yeah.
And then you had Iron Man, who was Tony Stark. Oh, he was Tony Stark.
Because they were like, hey, you know what? He turns into Hulk, so he should turn into Thor. Because that's how it works.
That's how it works. And then Iron Man had, like, he had to go to his lab, and then, like, it would press him in this bullet-looking machine, in this bullet-looking suit, and then he'd walk around like this. And then Captain America just, always on the motorcycle, show up with the clear shield. Because that's the exact sound the shield made. And then it would hit stuff, and you would see the shield physically bend. But then the next shot...
There's a scene, I want to say it's Falcon Winter Soldier, where Bucky is using the shield to like get up and it bends because it's the prop shield. And somebody screenshotted it and it's like, man, they don't make them like they used to.
They don't make them like they used to. Something Bucky would say.
Oh man, I didn't realize they actually had the whole thing come together. That's interesting. Wow. I know they tried to do in the 90s a Fantastic Four movie, which, man, they did it because I want to say it was Fox, where if they didn't have something in production, they were going to lose the rights. They were going to go back to Marvel. And so they put on this fake movie, but nobody knew that they never intended to release it. And so the actors came in, they did their thing, and it was like low quality. Like Mr. Fantastic, like his arm, they'd show him go like this, and then they'd show like a screenshot of his, like the middle of his arm, and that was it stretching, and then his hand like grabbing something. And the Ben Grimm looked like styrofoam or something. Yeah, it was bad.
Hilarious. But yeah.
Hey, David. Hey, thanks. Yeah, we have a viewer, folks.
Hello.
Hey, David. Good to see you, man, or talk to you. It's my friend David from Oklahoma. He's a fellow actor who I think he either worked a lot in California or he's still living in California. I can't remember, but doing a lot of film stuff. And
Film stuff.
yeah, he also does a Walking Dead thing. So yeah, hey David. So yeah, we're off on a tangent right now.
We dug a 6-foot rabbit hole and discovered the old Avengers movies from back like in the 70s.
Yup. Those were good. Like, man, the whole show was really good.
Yes.
Okay, so now that there's somebody watching, I feel like really pressured to actually be
On the show.
instead of just chilling with my friend on camera.
What happened next? So the last thing we talked about was
Yeah, so AO takes his arms off, both arms. I've got you both now. that would have been like the ultimate, like, haha.
and then she's like, no, leave them both. And then he's looking at him like, how are you going to put those back on? And then he just somehow does. He just hear one.
Suddenly, he's home dude from Mortal Kombat. This is, hey, say hi, Ghost.
With a tear in my eye.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, Dora Milaje defeat John Walker. I was gonna say single-handedly, but there was like 3-on-1. Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, just chill. Okay, cool.
Cool.
There must be a delay.
Slight, which is good, just in case anyone drops, 54 F-bombs.
Yeah, except that I don't know how I would take those back.
We just unplug the computer.
It's already out there. Let's go on a rant or something. All right, so then, all right. So John Walker, man, he's defeated, and he's like, they didn't even have super soldier serum, and he's, man, from like word one, when dude shows up, he's talking about that serum. Like, that's all he can think about is like how his insecurity and how he can't measure up and how he doesn't measure up and all this stuff. And then Carly five-finger death punches his friend. And
and he loses it. Yeah. The scene.
And then he decapitates him. Nico.
He does something. Yeah. Whatever. Decapitates.
Get it?
Get out of here with your dad puns about.
Okay.
There was a scene that was the parallel of, and they were slightly spaced out, where Zemo asked Sam, "Would you take the serum?" Sam instantly just says no, and Zemo was like, "Good job for not even hesitating." And then John asked Battlestar, I forgot his actual name. Lamar. John asked Lamar, if you had the serum, would you take it? Lamar says, yeah. So John's like, if Lamar...
No hesitation, yeah.
Yeah. If Lamar, who is a better person than I, would take this serum, then all right, I can take it. He
Yeah,
believes.
because he seems to be having his doubts, like whether he should go through with it or not.
Yeah, because like it was always this running theme of the serum makes you, like it amplifies who you are, and then
Which is why the Red Skull turned into...
Red Skull with the actual skull that was red.
Yeah.
Captain America. I don't know why I did this, because his cheekbones were dumb high.
Yeah, they were.
You could-
It's weird when like it's his face and then you put prosthetics on top of it and then his face is on top of those prosthetics that he tears off. Yeah.
That was hilarious. You see my cheekbones, Captain. I can cut paper with them. Diamonds break when they come in contact.
Wow.
I'm gonna go watch Captain America again so I can have a good laugh at his face. I like it. Was really a really good makeup job. It's just the cheekbones
And
are right
and
there.
lips.
What lips?
Like he had lips and like he's not an actual skull. I guess those are like his meaty parts under his skin.
Well, because his nose like went.
Yeah,
And
like
his eyes sunk in a little bit, but this was fine. I
yeah,
think.
like he looked like a skull, and they called him Red Skull. And in the comics, he's an actual skull, but like this part, like when he talked, it was still lips and teeth. It wasn't like
Don't
Skeletor.
break this glass for me, Dylan.
It wasn't like Skeletor. Like, anyways, that bothered me watching the entire
I
time.
should do a Masters of the Universe show.
Oh, they're working on it big time.
yeah.
Kevin Smith
He's into it, and I'm there for it.
There's two versions. Like they're bringing back the old school, like just doing more episodes of it. Same thing, not changing a thing. And they're doing I want to say it's a more adult version. That's the same animation house that does Castlevania for Netflix.
Oh, yeah. It'll be
So it's going to be more like the artwork that was on the toys.
the toys.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty. Extra muscly people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dylan's like, I'm not into that, but okay.
It's like, so I'm going to talk about like bad role models, body image for men. Literally named He-Man.
I mean, his cousin's name is She-Ra.
Yeah. Wow.
Skeletor. Manny
Look.
faces. Man at arms. Get out of here with
I
these
was
men.
5, okay? I was 5, and they were great, and they were on the nose, and I didn't care.
What was, gosh, the sorceress's name? The witch that was always with Skeletor.
Oh,
She also,
it's an L.
Shivile? It was something like, it was something.
Oh, Evil Lynn.
Evil Lynn.
Evil Lynn.
In the name. All right, back to the MCU. The rabbit hole is now 9 feet deep.
Man. Okay, so then Sam and Bucky take the shield back, attempting to reconnect. Okay, looks like we reconnected. Okay. So yeah, Cap has been training, and he's Cap. Like, he's like Ultimate Warrior Cap. He's a fighter.
Yeah.
So, and Bucky is the Winter Soldier. Like, he is a literal assassin who has over 100 kills to his name, and like like for centuries, or not centuries, for decades. been killing with efficiency, just like pow, 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 pow. And then John Walker, oh, Falcon, help me. like I get it, but like I forget, what do they call it when they bring the dude?
Huh?
When they bring him down?
What do you mean? De-escalation?
No.
What?
When they bring a person's powers and abilities down.
Oh, nerf.
Yeah, they nerfed him big time.
Nerf Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Ready? All right.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Quinn with the BS odometer.
The BS King. He's gonna BS it in. Make it make sense.
My thinking behind this is pretty straightforward. In Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Captain America 2, Bucky.
It's gonna be so confusing if they call season 2 Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Oh crap! It would be. Has to be Captain. we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah,
But yeah.
So okay, sorry. Why don't they just call him Eagle now?
Eagle?
American Eagle.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Keeping with the bird theme.
I'm not. Because there's a new. Get out of here. I don't want that. But so in Cap 2 with Chris Evans and everybody else, he was like you say, he was a straight assassin. He did nothing but killing. Like he
Caught
had
the shield. I mean, still catches everything. Like,
Yes.
not even paying attention, like a knife. Hey, bro.
Like, yeah, his deal is, I'm an assassin. I show no remorse, no mercy. So anytime that you see him fighting in Civil War, he's just not holding back. He's going all out, unless Spider-Man shows up, and then they need him for comic relief, just to get caught up in webs. But that's another.
Well, I mean, the tensile strength of his web is. I mean, he holds like subway.
Get out of here, Dylan.
You know what I mean?
All right, whatever.
He can wrap up a super soldier.
Get out of here, Dylan.
They actually do have like a power rating for each character, so that they're supposed to appear at the same power rating in every instance in the MCU.
Oh, well.
But go ahead.
Yes. So with the
I keep interrupting.
with the book, whatever, the code that turned him into the Winter Soldier, that turned his brain off, that's what like made him like not hold back. Like a zombie coming up and biting somebody. When a zombie bites you, it bites you with like the highest tensile strength for like a human bite.
So it's just like ruthlessness.
Yeah, it's just the ruthlessness.
Not skill.
And when Bucky is turned back on, he knows to hold back. He knows, like, all right, he's obviously
pulling punches because he don't want to kill people.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I said I was going to stop butting in, but I kept butting in.
So yes, Bucky is pulling punches. Winter Soldier, I don't care who you are, you gotta go. Go means die.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, okay.
Ouch. It was Velcro on my sock, and I'm just gonna
Are you wearing socks and sandals?
No, I'm wearing house shoes and sandals.
Okay.
House shoes and socks. Yes.
This is the dad cast.
The dad cast.
No, not really. There's probably one already called that.
Maybe. That's a whole nother show. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, Sam tries to wipe the blood off. Like they straight up broke his arm. Like took both of them like
choice.
rocket. And man, dude that plays John Walker, what's his name? Wyatt
Russell.
Man, he's good.
He is good.
I had doubts because I hadn't really seen him in other things. And I'm sorry, but there's something about his face that I don't like. But I think that fits. I think it works for the character.
Second one of him showing up. I don't like you.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't like you.
I think I have the same thing going for me.
But by the end of the show, I was like, I still don't like you, but okay.
Okay. Let's get into that, bro. Just because you did the right thing at the end and want to quote Lincoln does not make it okay. Like he's not redeemed in my eyes. Like that's not okay.
It's not.
He straight up murdered a man in cold blood, out in front of everybody, and was like coming after him, lied time and time again. Like it. He's got no character whatsoever.
No. He has the capacity to do good things, but he can't, because like overall, like he is a soldier, and like they've kind of like hinted on a little bit, the stuff that he had to do was not good things all the time.
And he mentioned that to Lamar too, saying, you know, when we were out there, like, you know, the things we had to do to get those medals.
Yeah.
You know, and so, yeah.
But so at the end of the day, he's a soldier who, if being controlled, will be fine. He'll do what he needs to do. He'll get the job done, whatever the job may be. But if you leave him to his own devices,
Yeah. And I mean, and still, even remember when he first took the soldier serum, super soldier serum, triple S, and he was like all twitchy and stuff like that. And like right after they killed the dude, he's tweaking. And at the very end, when he has put on the new U.S. agent suit, like there's still a little twitch. And I was like still nothing, not right. Still not right.
Still not right. Still, all it just takes is that one instant, and he's just gonna go me.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'm not okay with this dude. That brings up the point. What makes Steve Rogers worthy? What makes Sam worthy? How come Bucky isn't worthy? How come John Walker isn't worthy? Like what is that thing? What is it? Because we talked about this briefly, but I mean, like, okay, so there's Thor's hammer, right? And you have to be worthy to wield the hammer. The Cap shield is the same thing, except just anybody can pick it up, but the power will break you if you are not worthy.
Yeah.
It
makes or breaks legends, and everybody, like Steve, before the shield, before the super soldier serum, it's the most famous story out there. He was a little scrawny guy who will still stand up and fight for the little guy, even though he was the little guy. Mm-hmm. And Sam the exact same way, but he was just a regular soldier who was just good at what he does. But Steve saw that in him, that
the empathy.
Yeah, the empathy of it all.
Yeah, because one of the things, like, the doctor asked him was, you know, why do you want to go to the army? Do you want to kill people? And he's like, no, I don't want to kill people. I just don't like bullies. And that's the gist right there. I don't like bullies. I don't want to kill people. Because I even, like, trying to deconstruct it in my mind, like, was like, well, Cap killed people and he didn't always make the right choices, you know? And, like, I mean, if people would have seen the Civil War behind the scenes stuff, he might have been ousted just like John Walker, you know? I mean, like the little battle between him and Iron Man and all that stuff, where he is defending Winter Soldier and that killed Iron Man's family, and it's like there's some questionable stuff, you know? And so one of the fan theories is that, you know how when Cap tried to pick up Thor's hammer, it budged. So some people say, oh, well, he was always worthy. He just didn't want to do that to Thor. But then, of course, you know, we know in Endgame, he could wield it, no big deal, no problem. So one of the fan theories is that before Civil War, he wasn't worthy because he still had secrets. He had darkness that he was hiding. And then when he dealt with everything, that was when he became worthy. Yeah.
True selflessness. Because he threw everything in the wind just to help Bucky, because he knew Bucky was a good person. He knew this had happened to Bucky. And even though Bucky went off and killed Tony's parents, which Tony
it was not actually Bucky.
It wasn't Bucky. It was Winter Soldier. The assassin part that gets flipped on when Bucky gets switched off. But he remembers everything that he did. So Bucky still has to deal with it, but Winter Soldier just like, job's done. Mm. And he was trying to save Bucky from Winter Soldier, and Tony was just like, I need to kill Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and Tony even asked him, do you even remember the victims? And he said, I remember every one. And of course, we're seeing that in the show where he actually has nightmares and they haunt him, you know?
Yeah. And then, sometimes he just catches them in the parking garage and be like, "Do you remember me?"
I'm not wearing hockey pants. Hockey pants. I say pants every time. It's hockey pants. Like, what are hockey pants? I don't know. Anyway.
Poofy and padded.
I guess so. Like football pants, maybe.
More poofy, though. Because I feel like... Why are they bigger?
Warmer, at least. Right?
That has to be the reason. Has to be.
We're from Arkansas. We don't play hockey.
We don't play hockey.
We don't have hockey down here.
I used to watch
Ice
hockey.
melts.
Just because.
I would love to have been in hockey like that. Yeah. Sounds like fun.
Fights.
Because country boys.
Just fights. Side note. The movie Goon. Love it.
Goon?
Mm-hmm. It's a hockey movie. With the guy from... Stifler, who was the guy who played Stifler from American Pie.
Uh-huh.
He's the main character, and he's called a goon because literally he has two jobs: one, have good fights; two, protect the star player of that team, and if anybody tries to hurt him, fight them.
So like a literal goon.
Literal goon. It was good.
Nice. I need to look that one up. That guy just kind of went away. Well, he was on the show. Lethal Weapon for a little while, and then of course that one went away. But
yeah,
excuse me.
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think Sam recognized that empathy in, or Steve recognized that empathy in Sam, where like when they first met, and he does.
The counseling
for soldiers. Yeah. And so that's kind of like like that's the thing, like that is, it's not the thing, but I mean that comes from the empathy that Sam has to the point to where like he even does questionable things, like during this one where they broke Zemo out of jail and actually let someone of an opinion that is opposite of theirs, obviously, sit at the table as that and have an opinion with them.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, he of course he wasn't on board with it at first, and then Bucky kind of did it anyway.
He wasn't on board with it at all. And Bucky was just like, "So listen, just so you, theoretically speaking, what if these things happen?" And then Sam's like, "But wait, hold on, you're starting to get in way too much detail." And then Zimba walks in, "Hey, it worked, thanks.
Yeah,
my car's over here. My butler, who is also an assassin, is over here."
The only thing I didn't see him pull out his sword.
That's all he needed. He had the mask, which he wore for
like 2 seconds.
The dumbest. Let's not talk about it. Let's not, because he was closer to the Baron Zemo I want him to be, but he was still the Baron Zemo the MCU made him to be, which was slightly disheartening, because he put on the mask, he shot the gun, he got in a cool car, but he didn't fight Captain America.
Well, because
yeah, I know, but yeah, it's fine. I'm fine.
It's kind of sad that like these heroes are leaving, but now, or have left, and now their villains are just now seeing screen time.
Yeah.
Like Mandarin. Or the actual Mandarin, not the Iron Man 3 Mandarin.
Iron Man 3, as a whole, side note, dislike it very much.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. I enjoyed the whole because it explored kind of like the question that Steve asked him. It's like, without all that, what are you? Who are you? And he lost everything, and he had to figure out who I am without the suit.
But did he really lose everything? Because he said, "All right, activate house party protocol." And
well, I mean, that's the big finish. But
that's the big finish. But he could have.
That's after he came back. After he came back, he could have done that the whole time.
Could have done that the whole time.
Hold on, I gotta let the dog out.
Okay. And that's that about Iron Man 3 is that's what gets me. But yeah.
Okay.
I understand why they didn't do the Mandarin at that time. I really actually don't understand why they made Crimson Whiplash.
We're gonna keep coming back to that one. Because it's a thing.
So, but yeah, I understand some of the changes that they made with some of the villains, but also at the same time, they kept killing the villains. For the first 4 phases, minus Zemo. And that's it.
And that was only because T'Challa.
Yeah, that's because he was like, all right, I'm out. I did my thing. And he was like, no. Stopping a gun with his hand because Black Panther, a bullet coming out of a gun with his hand.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I didn't realize he actually fired. I thought he just...
No, he fired it into his hand.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. But, yeah. Villains in the MCU die. That's fine. But villains in this show... Oh, no. They died. Which was also interesting.
Well, we kind of got into who the power broker may or may not be. Like, I'm still not buying that it's actually Sharon Carter.
I am. Because... Who said it? You said it, I think. Somebody said it. Someone said... I said... If we go based off just how the MCU does things, they introduce so many characters up to a certain point, whether it be a show or somewhere in a movie, and then if there's a character that's mentioned that we haven't seen yet, it's either going to be all the characters they introduce in that little lump sum, because they also did it with WandaVision. Oh, who was like actually behind everything? Yeah. There's either going to be the characters that they introduce in that little time span, or it's going to be somebody that they slightly alluded to from the past. Which this one, we introduce everybody, and it wasn't Zemo because Wakanda came and got him, just all of Wakanda. And the only other person that it could have been. Everybody else besides Sharon, it would have been weird if they were somehow the power broker. If the Leaper, if he was the power broker somehow.
Who's dead now.
Oh, yeah, he's
supposedly, dead. I mean, Sharon shot him and he fell. They didn't show him dead.
Let's give him some metal.
So, I mean, Game of Thrones rules, if you don't see them die on screen, they're not dead.
They're not dead.
Plus, comics, dead doesn't mean anything.
At all. Especially now that magic is dumb heavy. Doesn't mean nothing.
Loki.
Yeah.
How many times have that dude been dead?
6. 6 times.
Every appearance. Speaking of, Loki's coming up next month, which is only like 2 weeks, week and a half, something like that. So we're going to talk and figure out when we might do our Loki coverage or whatever.
Okay.
Like with this one, it got away from us. We did like halfway. We tried to do WandaVision. We just kind of caught up at the end, but
yeah,
we'll see we'll see how things are going.
Now that things are lightening up a little bit as far as the world somehow, we just got to find time.
Yep.
And we'll do it.
Hey, Donnie the Dead, for
Hello.
joining the chat.
Donnie's in the chat. Ding. All right. What's next?
Okay, so I'm not sure I was finished talking about what makes them worthy thing.
Oh yeah.
Maybe. Just I guess the fact that like Bucky still, like Sam had to help Bucky get through because he wasn't actually completely selfless. Like he wasn't there yet.
He's still dealing with a whole lot of darkness himself. And I think that's the other part of it was Cap wanted somebody who, if they faced darkness or some type of adversity, they could find their way through it in a healthy way and then become stronger because of it.
Yeah. And Sam was at that point where he was helping other people already. Hold on, that's probably my dog. Go ahead.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to check on that.
Sam was at that point where he was helping other people already by being, you know, I lost my train of thought. By being a counselor for soldiers with PTSD and everything. And so with Sam kind of being at that point, Steve decided that he was probably best for the Shield. But also, he did not realize what he was doing by giving the Shield to a black man.
Sorry, Ghost is back.
Ghost
His
is
ears
back.
above the laptop.
So yes, what I said was, Captain America realized that Steve Rogers, Captain America, realized that Sam probably would have been the best person at that time, but he also probably didn't realize, because Bucky confirmed that he was like, when I do this, I'm gonna give Sam the shield. So Bucky was aware of the plan. But then he said, when they were in the yard tossing around the shield, as a good father and son do, he was like, Steve didn't know what he was doing by giving the shield to a black man, or he didn't know what would happen by giving the shield to a black man, or what it meant.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. But yeah, and so that ended up going to a whole other thing, which then that was Sam's journey for the whole whole show is what does this shield represent, and am I on board with that? Being a black man in America, knowing that they don't actually want me, because they've already shown they don't want me in episode 1, after I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give the shield away. And then 2 hours later,
knowing full well that John Walker had, like, they even showed footage of him playing with the shield, or not playing, but practicing
with the shield.
Like, this dude, they'd already knew what they were doing when they got that shield
y'all
back.
get time to do that? And like, Sam, did you go back to the museum the next day to see if the shield was there? Because I feel like they just had a replica.
Probably.
So they were, rough with it.
Yeah. And so the deal with Isaiah Bradley, like, man, that story and him telling his story that literally paralleled Steve's, but it's the darker version. Like, so, like,
literally,
like the American ideal, and there's the American exceptionalism, right? Where, America is right, and everything, and therefore everything we do is right, and that's BS. Because, I mean, if you look in the Marvel universe, like, one of the things that Stan Lee has consistently done with his characters and all through the MCU, or not necessarily the MCU, also the MCU, but mainly the Marvel characters, is the heroes are trying to live up. They're trying to be worthy and take responsibility of their calling. And the villains, for the most part, want the world to bend to their calling. You know what I mean? It's like they could be good guys, but they have a twisted mindset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
none of them, like what's an example? In the Avengers Earth Mightiest Hero cartoon, it's the only one that pops in my head. Like, Purple Man was able to amplify his powers and turn the whole world purple, and they were all under his control. And you know, he was like giving his little monologue.
Who was also in Jessica Jones, by the
Also,
way.
yes. Who's giving his little monologue like, with me in control, there's no war, there's no peace. Everyone just obeys to me and listens to me. So like he achieved world peace in a super messed up way. And that's pretty much all the MCU villains, minus Thanos, who's a nihilist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that is a super narcissistic trait, to where, I mean, you've got Doctor Doom, you've got all these villains who, and that's, I mean, like, if you're, you know, kids read comics, adults read comics, but you start as a kid and you're figuring out, okay, what is good, what is evil, you know? And one of the narcissistic evil traits is, I have the answers. Only I have the answers. The way I see things is the right way. And I can't be wrong because you constantly justifying myself. You know what I mean? And I'm going to make everyone bend to my will. You know what I mean? And that's narcissism, and that's a plague upon mankind, because I mean, everybody kind of falls into that in small ways, but that's the deal. I mean, where John Walker says, because I am Captain America.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, because I'm Captain America, you must bend to my will. Why aren't you doing what I want you to do? You know, I'm Captain America. I know what's right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Sam, I don't know what's right. Here, let's ask the bad guy. What do you think? Yeah. And everybody's like, how dare you? How dare you ask the bad guy?
Why does their opinion matter? We're the good guys. Do you know who I am? Look at my shield. It's shiny and it's going to have blood on it in 2 hours because my friend's going to get punched in the chest. I'm out of breath.
And I'm going to totally lie about it to his parents and try to build my own shield. And I'm not okay with that guy.
With one of my friend's medals, who I put into the thing, to when I need to, I can just be like, all right, power boost, and then my shield's gonna bend because it's not vibranium.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Flag Smashers smashed his shield.
They smashed the flag. Yeah.
But I mean, that's like the quintessential Quintaro Essential. That should be like your new podcast name, Quintaro Essential.
Quintaro's Essentials.
Yeah. His full name is Quintaro, by the way.
Hi.
Which is so anime, and I love it. It's
so anime. Yes.
So I mean, that is like the difference between, that is what Steve saw in Sam, where he's in pursuit of the truth. He doesn't think he has a corner on truth. He doesn't think that he knows the right way just because of the just by attribute of who he is or what symbol. Like, even one of the first things he says is, symbols mean nothing without the men and women that give them meaning. It was like one of the first things he said in the series.
Yeah.
And that is the thing. Like, that is it. That's the thing.
That's the thing.
So, and whereas John Walker and these other bad guys think the symbol gives them meaning, you know what I mean? And they will support the symbol all the way to the grave. And don't you disrespect this symbol, because this symbol is right and it's God-given or whatever. And this is, if you haven't noticed, this is skirting politically.
Flag Smashers the Flag Smashers and John Walker fought the same way as far as ideology when it comes to the symbols, because she kept saying, like, even if we die, the Flag Smashers will live on.
Mm-hmm. They serve the symbol.
Yeah.
The symbol doesn't serve them.
Yeah. And then John Walker, several times, literally after he kicks in the door, every time, the next shot is always going to be him standing over someone. Do you know who I am? And it's like, yeah. But then one guy's like, yeah, I know who you are. Mm-hmm. It's like, whew.
Lucky she didn't get decapitated.
Get out of here.
He got decapitated when he got stripped of his title.
He did.
Decapped.
And he tried to justify it so hard. Mm-hmm. But he, as the U.S., but then...
Like, his entire identity is wrapped up in that symbol. Like, I am nobody without this symbol. Whereas, like, with Sam, like, he's... Or Cap, like, Steve Rogers... if you notice in Civil War, like, he took the flag off of his suit. And, like, he stripped it off, and he was just like, look, I am who I am, whether I have this or not. I stand up to bullies. That's just who I am. That's what I am. And
Steve was like, it just so happens that the U.S. is completely against you guys, and this over here, what they're trying to build, I'm for that. What y'all are trying to do, that's subjugation and terrorism. So no, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And then
whether it's standing up to Nick Fury, I mean, and so it's okay when Rogers does it. And man, he's so awesome when he stood up to Nick Fury, and Nick Fury saw that he was right and tried to, get rid of the program and all that kind of stuff because it was the right thing. And he gets praised for it, yet Isaiah Bradley, who literally did the same thing, went into the prisoner of war camp and got his friends back and came back and was punished for it. And that's
not just punished.
That's the statement that this show...
Treated like he was a test subject for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
He even, like I said, a nurse took pity on me, pronounced me dead, so then I could get out. And that was the, if not, I'd probably still be there. Mm-hmm. If not actually dead.
Yep. And that's when you're... So we kind of had this discussion, you and me and Andrew, and because I felt like, because there are some things in the show that don't show what happened in the comics, where like in the comics, Isaiah's community fully knows who he is, celebrates who he is.
Yep.
And and he's got that. And he does not want Sam to, he, in the comics, from what I gather, he kind of does he wants people to know, but he doesn't, but in the show, he's like fully against it. And I was almost like, well, why did Sam just go against his wishes and put him out there anyway? He wanted to stay dead. And like it seemed contrived, and like I was kind of like, I didn't feel right about it, but like seeing his response, like he
deep down he wanted it, mm-hmm. but he didn't want the trouble that might have come with it. And if Sam wasn't Captain America, and that the information of him being alive and who he was, all that did get out, then he might have had problems. But because Sam is now the new Captain America, Sam is his shield from that bullshit. Sorry, that stuff.
No, I mean, if they say it on the show, we'd say it on here.
Yeah.
The rating is the same as the show. And so also, shoot, I forgot where I was going. The exhibit, I was a little taken aback at first because it seemed like the exhibit, let me bring you into a back room where we put your exhibit. You know what I mean? And so I was just like, wow, that's why to me it kind of struck me as that too. It was like, woo, Captain America, Bucky, back room. Here's Isaiah Bradley. Oh, is it Washington or Bradley? Bradley. Who's Isaiah Washington? He's an actor.
Yeah.
Okay. So it seemed that way, but after I watched it again, it's maybe not so much a back room. It's just kind of off to the side, and just for the show's sake, they didn't want people walking around. But I would have felt better, to be honest, if you did see people standing around looking while he's doing that.
Was there anybody else in there?
When they left the Cap area or the Steve Rogers area and went to the Isaiah Bradley area, there was nobody.
Okay.
So I don't know if it just hadn't been opened yet, or
they could have
what's going on.
They could have put like a curtain up or something to make it seem like it's not open yet. I want you to see it first, because I feel like he would take them to see it first before opening up to the public.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope so, just to see how he felt about it,
Yeah. Because
except that it was already done.
It's already done.
And that's another thing is on my first viewing, I was like, he's creating problems for this man because he does not want to be found. He does not. He wants to be done with it. He doesn't want to have to deal with this stuff again, or people coming to find him and all this kind of stuff. He doesn't want to fight. He's an old man. He wants to live his life. He wants to die in peace. But after watching it a second time, they didn't put anything about him being alive, or it was just a memoriam. Not necessarily in a memoriam, because they didn't put like his birth and death year or anything like that under his name. And the like there were pictures around, but those were kind of like generic pictures. Like there wasn't anything specific to him, I guess, because all his stuff was top secret. However,
extra top secret.
Yeah, but there was the photo that inspired one of the scenes in the comic on the back wall. It's kind of like a reference, I guess. But so they did, and the statue was, I guess, vague enough to not look just like him, where you would just be like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you're that guy. So, I mean, I guess it's Sam played it well enough to where, I mean, I guess people, if they wanted to find him, they could. Now,
as many times as he's been over there, I mean, if he's walking down the street and they'd be like, "Oh, hey, it's Black Falcon," they would easily be like, "Black Falcon, why are you going to Mr. Bradley house?" And then he'd go there twice, 3 times, and then he like, "My grandpa ain't here," and his friends are here playing basketball with, like, "Why Black Falcon keep coming to your house?" Somebody's gonna figure something out.
Yeah,
Black Falcon. Seriously, that's the most hilarious thing
He's
about
American
the show.
Eagle now. He's got wings still.
Because what else is he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Run around with a sword now?
Captain Eagle.
Captain Eagle. That's more American than anything else.
I mean, he's gonna stay with the bird motif. I mean, just ride it all the way through.
No.
Anyways, but I mean, I guess knowing that Eli, his grandson, will become Patriot, which is another huge deal for comic people. The Young Avengers are coming. They're being obviously set up. We've got most of them. I think we don't have Hulkling is the only one we don't have but we'll probably show up in Secret Invasion or something like that.
Depends on. All I have to do is introduce Amadeus Cho.
So, okay. So, Amadeus Cho, I understand that he's Awesome Hulk. Like, he's a different Hulk.
Yeah.
But what's his connection to Hulkling?
Amadeus Cho gets his powers from his bracelets.
Interesting.
Yeah, because that's how he turns. Because he's a super genius. I couldn't think of like the list of people. He's within the top 10 because he was Iron Spider for a while.
Really?
And then and then he invented the bracelets to become totally Awesome Hulk. And he's been shown more in the comics because Marvel's Champions and stuff, which is basically Young Avengers. Huh?
I'll put a pin in it. I'll come back.
Okay. What? What's wrong?
What if Amadeus Cho is like the future biggest bad ever because he's making his rounds having been every one of the Avengers?
All right, cool. Good night, everybody. I'm going home.
Anyway.
I'd pay to see that.
Yeah.
I'd pay to see that in any form.
He's like another version of Kang from the future.
He is. Don't sue Marvel, Robert Kirkman. He would be Omni-Man. But I mean, if you have all the powers of the Avengers just literally at your fingertips.
Like Super Skrull, kind of. Except Fantastic Four version.
Yeah.
Avengers version. I mean, now that it's out there, somebody's going to see it, and it's going to happen in 10 years. Like, it's going to happen. And they're going to be like, I don't know where I got that idea. I just came up with it.
And then I'm going to show up and set your tires on fire.
Now you've been Ghost Rider.
But, yeah. So...
Yeah, Young Avengers are coming, and there's a lot of setups happening in the shows. Although I do feel like so the shows are supposed to be every bit MCU as the movies, but I still feel like they're a step below.
They have to be. I feel it's because they have to, because they're not as interwoven, because they're
isolated stories.
They're isolated stories that are meant to be like a cement block for the future.
Aren't the movies also isolated stories about their characters?
Yes, but no. Because they are, but some movies, and I have the perfect example.
Of course you do, Mr. BS.
Some movies were just made simply for one scene, so that then in the next like Avengers movie you'd be like, oh my god, the thing happened, and then like that's it. Doctor Strange, although good movie, had a very fast pace. It felt like that movie went by in only like 30 minutes to me, and there was only really two scenes, really. The Infinity Stone, which the Eye of
Agamotto.
Yeah, the Eye of Agamotto, which is no longer a thing anymore because it was an Infinity Stone that this happened to.
Yeah.
And then his end credit scene where he's sitting there like, "Why are you here?" Talking to Thor. That alone.
And the mention by
Yeah.
That was in Civil War, wasn't it?
Well, the Civil War.
Yeah.
No.
Stephen Strange.
In Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the guy.
Yeah. Because that was the Hydra one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like just that.
That dude that super died at the. Got thrown out the car.
Oh yeah.
Agent, what's his face? I forgot.
And all that, like sometimes they just did stuff. Although it was fun to watch and all that, sometimes they just did stuff just for one thing as a building block for something further down the line. Mm-hmm. And here they're not doing that as much. Just because
I mean they're world building, but it doesn't feel as
big.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as big.
They're world building small bubbles because there's going to be a big bubble, which I probably think was Black Widow was probably the big bubble that all these little bubbles would have their little ties to. Mm-hmm. And we're missing it because we don't know what actually happens in Black Widow. Mm.
But then, watch, we're going to see Black Widow and be like, what?
Huh. All right. Well, I'm still lost. I guess I'll have to watch Madness of the Multiverse.
I mean, this one it felt bigger. Well,
nope. Wakanda was there slightly.
Yeah.
But
and Zemo.
And
they changed Zemo to serve their story. But I mean, I keep going back to, because sometimes they do that in the movies too. But I don't know. I guess I don't know. Something just feels off, and I can't put my finger on it just yet.
Oh wait.
But speaking of bigger bubbles, there will be, from the same writer as the show, there will be Captain America 4, assuming Anthony Mackie will be playing Captain America.
Yes. So they fuse these two things with the Flag Smashers. Wait, what? Hold on. Wait, what? Assuming he'll be playing Captain America, why wouldn't he be?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
I'm just
okay.
I'm just saying that seems like the natural assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, there are talks that Chris Evans is going to come back, like for some kind of cameo, which he's denied. But I mean, that's kind of like par of the course for just deny because
until it happens.
I mean, like the dudes that played Spider-Man previously have been seen on set, yet they're like, "Oh, I'm not in that movie." It's like, bruh.
And then scene 1, we think we're watching Tom Holland, and he's fighting, Electro, just for kicks and giggles.
Because
but then it actually turns out it's not even Andrew Garfield, it's Tobey Maguire fighting Electro.
Yeah, so that's what's going to happen is we're going to see Spider-Man fighting, and maybe it'll be dark, so we can't tell that it's not the new suit or whatever. We can't tell what suit it is, but we know it's Spider-Man. And then the mask comes off, and it's...
Hold on. Bear with me. So Spider-Man The Last Stand. This is...
What?
Okay.
The Last Stand?
Yes.
So X3?
Well. So in this comic line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's an actual comic.
It's an actual comic.
Okay, I was like, no.
So
we will not do Spider-Man, X-Men.
Spider-Man 3. In that iteration, he's a bit older. His suit looks a bit different. He got kicked out of the Avengers because he decided just like, I'm done with dealing with these villains and then coming back and always trying to hurt people I love, and starts killing people.
What?
And the Avengers kick him out. He pretty much
That's dark for Peter Parker.
He goes, oh no, it gets worse. He goes extra rogue.
This must be like older, having been married and children, Peter Parker. Ish.
Alone. He's alone now. No one wants him.
It's Peter B. Parker.
It's Peter B. Parker. He's grizzled. He's old. He's still out there.
Old man Peter Parker.
He's fighting villains. He's killing them because I don't have time to deal with this anymore. He becomes a wanted criminal just because of murder.
And his face mask starts shaking like
his face, so his outfit, he just wears like a red jacket that has the spider emblem on it,
like Scarlet Spider type thing.
Kind of, but there are no webs on his jacket at all. He's wearing these black jeans and black combat boots, and his mask is just red with the normal spider eyes. And
so it's Punisher Spider.
The way that the comic ends, he visits Aunt May and Uncle Ben's graves. He's there talking to him. The police come up. He gets in a last showdown with the police, and they gun him down. And that's how it ends.
Holy shit!
So, what if Tobey Maguire is the last Spider-Man, The Last Stand? Spider-Man a little bit. Because, they could do it to where, he's the extra dark version of Spider-Man.
There's a meme going around that's got, a grizzled version, an older version, where he's kind of, wearing, a jacket type thing. It looks badass.
It looks badass. He is badass. He's so cool, but he dies. And Andrew Garfield be Tobey Maguire... After Spider-Man 3, he just ends up going down a dark path. Andrew Garfield, he goes down a failed path, and he doesn't know if he's still worthy of being Spider-Man. And it's these two extremes of...
It's like bad, that fat Thor.
Kinda, but just long hair, hippie Spider-Man slightly. And Tom Holland, Spider-Man.
How do you fit that up under the mask?
It's always a man bun. Always in a man bun.
There's a weird like the Power Ranger.
His lesson from these two is not do these things that they did. And then he also re-inspires them. He's killed people. So I don't know how.
I don't know. I could Garfield Spider-Man being that Spider-Man because last time we saw him.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So web wasn't quick enough.
Yeah. Which was that was an awesome scene.
It was.
You say what you want about that series, I like that series.
It was good.
especially that moment was.
Yeah, I was like, wait. This is me rewinding. Oh no, she did. Like,
I'm sorry, Emma Stone.
But yeah, what are we talking about?
Being worthy.
Being worthy. So yeah.
So Isaiah Washington. I mean, I know that we just were goofing off, but do you want to say anything about the implications of the series on being a black man in America or the police or anything like that? I know this might
it's
be
super weird
spot,
it was. I knew they were gonna, from episode 1, I knew they were gonna try and do something like that for Falcon and Winter Soldier, but as well as they tried, and they tried to do it well, and it was written, and I've said this to you and Andrew before, like, it's fine of how they're going about it, but this is still a comic book TV show or TV movie, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. So they went about things in a comic booky way. So it was real for their reality. Yes. So, but they addressed it probably in the best way that also Disney would allow them to address it. Because you would have to think something that big would have some strings and red tape attached to it. Mm. But I feel like if they were
in the comics, Marvel is known for not shying away from issues like that.
Yeah, and they always, sometimes they do it in like undertone ways, like the X-Men, you know. A lot of, especially with Iceman being gay and things like that. X-Men, for the longest times, they were the ones that were always addressing those issues of race and being different in America and all that. Mm. Captain America's black sidekicks. But it just seems like they have, like I said, as well as they did, they have a difficult time doing it. Just because they don't want to break the experience completely of what you're watching. And I think that's what they kept in mind. But it's still good.
Mm. And they don't want to, they know that half of America.
Also, kids are probably watching. Yeah. So they didn't want to, certain folks out there they didn't want to be like, no, you're not watching Marvel movies anymore because I don't want politics in my movies and all the stuff like that.
That was one of the questions I had asked was like I felt like they started stirring the pot, but then they gave a generic kind of blanket answer like whoop, here we go. But I understand like it's something like this big is not going to be solved or fixed like a sitcom. It's a real life issue, but it's like you said, being dealt with in a comic book world, and it's not going to be fixed. It's not going to be wrapped up by the end of the series or the show or whatever. So it to me it felt like it kind of felt half baked on where they went with it, to where it was wrapped up with Sam giving a speech, wearing, as a black man, wearing a suit that's more white than any other Captain America that covers up most of his black skin. That's like, but it's comic accurate, and I mean, it's tried and tested. They know that. I don't know if that was an issue when they came out originally or not, but like that was one of my first impressions. It's like not everything in the comics works on screen. And the ears. But I personally didn't like the ear holes. But the explanation that you gave made a lot of sense as far as like the whole covering.
Yeah.
Because he's not a super soldier.
He is not a super
and
soldier.
Assuming his suit is vibranium because it's from Wakanda.
Mostly vibranium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And man, if he pulls out one of those things where he absorbs and then poof, with the wings and everything.
Oh, I'm done.
Dude.
That'd be so cool.
Like, Yeah, because he's just figuring it out.
Yeah.
And another parallel between John Walker and Sam is the moment before we see John Walker's shield being smashed to bits and caving and crumpled and all that kind of stuff. We literally see Sam bounce a helicopter off his shield.
Yes.
And that, like, the shield is like, I mean, it's a metaphor for their character and who they are as a person and why their worthiness and yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It
like,
was.
just by a
And then he used
helicopter.
the wings to. Yeah.
That was amazing.
Sam, yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. I didn't get to see Falcon beat up as much as I wanted to. It's fine, but he's not Falcon anymore, so I guess whatever.
I did love the parallel there between. I keep talking about parallels, but when you've got a show that's literally got two people, if you got an old white man and a black man, and you're talking about like that
Dynamic.
Yeah, that dynamic in America, like it's all parallels. Plus the new character versus the old character, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, when Carly is like railing on him and just like stay down, and instead of saying, "Oh, I could do this all day," he is his own man, and no, I'm not going to. And I liked that they did the callback without it being like word for word, where he's not just a ripoff of Steve.
Yeah.
Like he's his own person.
He is Captain America, but not the same Captain America.
Right.
Yeah. And he's not Black Falcon anymore.
No. He wasn't Black Falcon before. Even though I think most of his suit was black. Dark-ish. Red.
It's black, gray, and red, and some silver around the shoulders. Yeah. So that's all. That's good. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did like the fact that Sam was kind of like, hey, I'm not just a black man. I'm not black. Don't just slap black on everything I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's this might be. I know this is dangerous ground for a white man to be talking about, and this is probably where I'm going to stick my foot in my mouth. But like, so my daughter is. She's LGBTQ, and she's out. It's not like a big thing or whatever, but so I'm not outing her or anything like that, and I'm not getting details. But that's one of the things that I talked to her about is like, look, like some people, like gay is everything they do. That's who they are. It's like
It's just gonna categorize.
like
them as
yeah, exactly. It's like you're deeper than that. Like that's an aspect of who you are. But
That's not what
that's
makes
not
you who you
all
are.
of you. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So yeah. Anyways, and speaking of white men in America, like sometimes it can feel like where's my place? Yeah, I used to have this place that was on this pedestal, and now who am I, and where do I fit in? And these other people can be a threat, and blah 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 blah, or whatever. Where does the white man fit in? I think that this show dealt with it very very well. In Bucky, in being literally, I mean, it's kind of hard to see it because he's a young man, but he's playing 100-year-old dude. So like he was there supporting Sam the entire time, and even though it was a little misguidance in some places where, you know, he was like where he was doing it just because that's who Steve chose, and he was kind of doing the whole thing where. Which is one of the reasons why he's not worthy and all that kind of stuff, where he was, Steve chose, and what Steve does is always right, you know, and so it's still kind of lingering that, you know, not being brave enough to say, well, and that's exactly what Zemo was getting at, is when you set up a person on a pedestal, everything they do is right, like that's dangerous ground.
Yeah. It's very dangerous ground. Yes. And he's literally from the hold on. How old he would have been like 18 when he enlisted in World War II? Were him and Steve 18?
I think he was like 106 is what he told the girl. or something like that.
How old were they when they enlisted in World War II? If we knew that, well, it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, he was probably born in for the sake of this, we'll say he's born in 1920. So they're born 1920, so they're 20 years old when they're trying to enlist. And so in his, like, the prime of his life, it was the 40s. The 40s, World War II was happening, but in, you know, the background of everything, there was a lot of crazy bad things happening.
A lot of, yeah.
Yeah. So for him, even though he may have been in New York, which was slightly better. And
I mean, we're still talking about Jim Crow, right?
Yeah.
Like, was this before Jim Crow? No, this was during. Yeah, this is
Crow.
because slavery had been abolished and it was Jim Crow up until okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and it was completely normal.
Yeah. A lot of things in America. So
quote unquote normal.
So him getting out of him being out of mind control, besides the only thing knowing he's war, the only thing he knows is war and killing. The life he had before war and Winter Soldier was 1940s and 30s America, which is not a great place. So for Bucky to not only just support Sam just because he was what Steve chose, but actually, you know, becoming his friend and adapting and living in this world.
His sister.
And trying to hit on his sister just shows what kind of character, like, Bucky actually has. Which is good.
Man,